So you're not going to believe what my neighbor is doing to hook up with girls. It's incredible. Stay tuned to find out how he did it. Welcome back to the Talking Nonsense podcast with Brian Clough. Please subscribe, like, and comment as it will help me grow the show. So I took a little time off the show as I was going in and out of a long-term failing relationship with my ex once again. Apparently she wasn't too amused with some of the content on the old show, so it wasn't going over very well. So I finally decided to break away for good this time. But the thing that kills me is, while I'm going through a miserable breakup, I'd go home, be walking to my apartment, I'd run into my neighbor who is absolutely killing it on the hookup scene. He's an average-looking guy in his early 50s, home 1 to 2 new girls to spend the night a week for like the last 2 years. He's been on fire and as happy as can be. So I finally asked him the other day, what the hell are you saying to these girls? And I'll give you his answer in a minute. So after seeing all of his success, I was like, well, let me dip my toe into the online dating pool and get on a couple of these free dating websites and see what happens. Mind you, I've been in a relationship for like the last 7 years or so. I haven't tried online dating for at least 8 years. So in my mind, I'm like, what could have changed in the past 8 years? So I decided to conjure up my old school single Brian way of thinking and go to my previous 3 rules of internet dating to see if it is still going to work. This one's super important. I actually hadn't been on in like 8 or 9 years, and I actually saw some same profiles that I saw 8 or 9 years ago with the exact same pictures. So you can only imagine what running into one of these broads on a first date and her pictures don't look like her, what that would be like. If this ever happens, make them buy you a drink. Which brings me to rule number 2. Beware of headshot girl. My old college buddy, Brew, always had the best girl advice for me. Over the years, he would say, if they're just showing you their face, they're definitely hiding something. When it comes to online dating, he and I always had the shallow Hal approach. One of his favorite tips was, pay close attention to her body style. Big trunk, big tree. What this means, if a girl has big ankles or big legs, they are there for a reason, to hold up some extra weight that is coming on down the road. A good example of headshot girl. When I first tried online dating years ago, I took a girl out that only had a headshot pictures. She had a very, very pretty face. We got along, we chatted a bunch of times, decided to meet out at a local bar. She shows up 45 minutes late, sits down. Mind you, she put on her internet profile, athletic and toned body style, was her description. She storms in there all sweaty. She must have weighed at least 240 pounds. Slams on in, grabs a stool, just goes, wow, it's hot out there. I'm famished. Sits down, orders a double Grey Goose martini. And before she can even finish ordering, she orders 3 appetizers, says that she's super hungry. And before she's finishing even ordering the 3rd appetizer, she chugs the martini, orders another double Grey Goose martini. I haven't even gotten like 5 words out at this point. As I'm sitting there watching all this go down, all I can think of in my mind is my bar tab, which was sitting right about $3 for the 1 Miller Lite draft that I ordered, grew to almost $90 in less than 45 seconds. She then turned to me and said, oh, did I mention that I just got gastric bypass surgery? So this led me to rule number 3. No dinner dates until after the 3rd date. As I learned, 90% of the girls you meet will not make it to date number 4. So why waste your money on them before that? A large percent of them are just looking for a guy to give them a free meal, knowing they will never see them again. So always best in the beginning to keep, as Zimmy would say, keep your CPL low. And if you remember from previous episodes, CPL stands for cost per lay. So we'll see how this internet dating thing works out. As clearly it's tough for a guy like me to get good pics. Not the best looking dude out there. But once I do get to meet somebody, that's where I turn on the charm and let people like me for me, which is the way it actually should be. And also, I'm not the best at going into a bar and picking up a girl at the bar. Not nearly as good as my neighbor, which leads to a great segue to tie everything on in. So I'm coming in the other night. I run across my neighbor. And he's like, yeah, buddy. He's got this Boston accent. That's great. I'm like, how'd your weekend go? He's like, it was great. I was up in Boston tying some things up. I go, any luck up there? What happened? He goes, yeah, I got one. Brought her back to the hotel and everything. It was good. I'm like, what the hell are you saying to these girls? He goes, that one. I told her I was a JetBlue captain. She bought it. I'm like, holy shit, are you kidding me? He's like, yeah, it works every time. I go, are you using that down here when you go and you're pulling all these girls back? He goes, no, for that one. He goes, I went on the Amazon and I got the business cards going up. And I tell him I'm an attorney. I give him a card. It's got a fake name on it, fake number, and an email address. And he goes, I can monitor the email address. But he goes, I just keep them one night and then I throw them out the next day. I go for the next girl the next time. I was like, oh my God, this guy is a genius. So there you have it. I guess the way to get the girls down here is just to lie right to them. Apparently it works. He says they're all looking for a one-night stand anyways. But that's the way it is. So that's your story in a nutshell. Have a great day. And if you like the story, please subscribe, like, and comment.